Guys, before we get into the video I want to take a minute to explain my most recent meet at CSU. Going into this meet, I had no idea that this would likely be or not likely, it would be my last meet as a UNC Bear, and as of April 28th, likely the end of my outdoor season for 2025. And going into this meet, I had high hopes that at least for the 400, I could get back to where I know I could be competing at my standard, so to speak, and maybe run a decent 1500, although it never has been my strong suit. And even though I did achieve what I expected to run in that 15, it wasn't up to my performance standards. But while I may not be showing the meet in my usual format for these videos, I'm going to do a voiceover, mostly with just clips here and there, explaining and discussing my current show, really. But as the title reads, I am planning on transferring from UNC, and I want to make a video to discuss it and share my experiences here at UNC. And throughout the past semester, I've been asking myself quite regularly, was it worth coming here? Was the 2 years of mediocre performances in my track and field career worth it? And I've come to the conclusion that likely, no, it was not worth coming here. But that does not take away the great friends and all the great times and all the great people that I've met here at UNC. But what caused this sudden change? During this meet, I specifically in the 400 meter, where I noticed I had been progressing in my healing, so to speak, with my knee injury. It hasn't been getting better, but I felt I had been getting better. I have been putting on higher and higher mileage weeks without it really affecting me. But just getting more fit, more comfortable at higher distances just really gave me a bit of a confidence boost. But going into this meet, I came to find out that being able to handle slower paces for longer mileage weeks doesn't exactly translate over to fast paces at a very specific race distance. And consequently, I hadn't thought much of it after a mid-ass 1500. Wasn't really thinking much about that until my 400 meter, where I had previously ran a 52 at CU's indoor meet, to where I was pretty disappointed with that. But then going into this, I ran a 53, showing that not only have I not gotten better, I've actually gotten worse. And having noticed that I've gotten worse, actually, I noticed that it was time for an intervention. Something needed to change. So that following week, me and my coaches had a meeting, or not coaches, one of my coaches had a meeting, and we decided that training was not going well, it was not working for me, nothing was clicking, my knee hadn't gotten better, and I was in the transfer portal. So we had decided that it was just best to let me go. And for the past few weeks, I've been under my old coach's training, Coach Brian Ellis, from my high school. He's been there from the very beginning for me. He knows me as an athlete better than anyone, and as a person better than almost anyone. So it's been rehab lately, just getting my knee back under me. And it's shown improvement, but it's still not quite there, but we should hopefully be back to running soon. But the big question that I had been asking myself ever since then was where to, like any homeless man. But in going into that question, I knew I wanted to return home to Kansas. I knew the state I wanted to be in. I wanted to be back home, really. So that really narrowed down all the options to about 5. We had KU, WSU, Pitt State, Washburn, and Fort Hays State. But after talking to most of the colleges, two stood out the most to me. And for the past 2 weeks, it's been nothing but constant debating and weighing the options between the two. One had more like small things that I really like. The other was just had so much, like it had like these very few bigger benefits, so to speak. But going, but after this, I have finally reached a decision. So starting this summer and competing in the 2025 to 2026 season, I will be competing for Fort Hays State University. I will be a Tiger for the foreseeable future. And after all the debating, I finally found out that this was the obvious answer. As Fort Hays State has been around for my career just a really long time. They've been there ever since I really started running cross country. They've been very intertwined with my high school. Like John Nelson ran for them. Some of my coaches ran for them. So I just have a lot of connections and just personal connections towards Hayes, really. And listening to my coach, and Coach Ellis has my full faith in him, and Coach Ellis has his faith put into Fort Hays. So if his faith is in that, so is mine. He's just been there for so much. I trust him with all my heart. So, but going forwards, I have no regrets, but I will miss the UNCO team a lot. I'll miss all the friends I made here. Just like thinking about it honestly gets me a little choked up. Especially with all just the friends and memories, that I made along the way. But as the semester really comes to an end, I'm going through a little bit of this anticipation nostalgia. As like I'm not gone quite yet, but at the same time, I feel like I already miss it a little bit. As I said, I haven't really been on the team much, so it's just kind of been me. I'll see the friends every now and then, but it's been a roller coaster these past month or so. But honestly, as the season comes to an end, as the semester comes to an end, and as I get ready to leave UNCO, thanks to all my friends I made here, thanks for all the people, all the great memories I had, and honestly, maybe these first 2 shitty seasons of my college career were honestly just about the friends we made along the way. Nah, I'm kidding. This video ain't done yet. But again, thanks to everyone who has been there along the ride. Thanks to Jesse for starting influencing me really to start a YouTube channel, get into social media. Thanks to Xander, Noah, Dylan, just my roommates, partners in crime, really here throughout my time here. You've meant a lot to me. Thanks to UNCO as a whole, because if I didn't come here, I would have never met my brother. But before the video ends, I will continue posting under New Jersey. So expect bigger and better things to come from me. Thank you.